Transform 6 How-To Video Correlation View Workflows. Working with a correlation view before you get started. Correlation views will use well-log templates to view logs. Well-log templates can be generated through Geology, the log template editor, as you can see here on the right. Users can take well-log aliases in a correlation view through the layer manager. Users can add layers to the layer manager with the blue plus in the top left of the correlation view layer manager within an open correlation view. Users can interpret or adjust tops within a correlation view. Click the tops correlation icon in the top left to enable those tops, and also to activate tops and create new tops to correlate. After a new top is created, you'll need to add that new well top to the well top alias for that top to be used within that hierarchy. We'll go over that within this video. Just a note of some correlation view accelerator keys are here. So Control mouse wheel up and down will stretch and shorten the view vertically. Shift plus mouse wheel up and down will zoom in and out. Middle mouse drag will pan the view when you're not in an interpretation mode, and a shift middle mouse drag will pan the view when the interpretation mode is engaged. And then you can see over here on the bottom right of this slide, you can see all of the different things that are going to be contained in this video. So go ahead and jump ahead if you'd like to see those things in specific. Now, let's go ahead and jump in Transform and get to some correlation views. First, to launch a correlation view, users need to generate transects. Transects can be generated from the base map. Launch a base map with well list containing wells to view in a correlation view. Then, let's generate a transect. You can do either well-to-well or a projected transect. First, we'll start with a projected transect. Engage the projected transect tool and left-click in the base map to generate the transect. The projected transect dialog on the right gives options for the projected distance to grab wells for the transect and rotate if necessary. Double-click and give the transect a name to save and click OK. Remember, you can do Control-Shift-M for mouse bindings just to give you help as you toggle between tools. So let's make a well-to-well transect as well. Engage the well-to-well transect tool, left-click to select wells, and double-click to save. Let's get rid of those mouse bindings now, so just left-click and hit Escape. Both transects that we created will allow the launch of a correlation view with a right-click. Select a well template to view the logs, and then click OK. Once the correlation view is opened, drag the correlation view to the desired location by left-dragging the Views tab. These are the correlation view tools that we'll explore in this video. Just hover over each tool to give a tooltip. The launch default of the correlation view is a depth MD, but you can change it with that dropdown. You can also adjust the scale with this dropdown, and then here are the zoom tools. Zoom in and out free, zoom in and out vertically, zoom to fit, and rectangular zoom are activated with a left drag. Next, you can call up a different well log template for the entire correlation view. You can also view edit a well header, and then it brings up the well card. You can also reverse the correlation view as needed, and then you can also refresh the view as needed, which is important if you update a log template or a well log and you want to see those changes in your view. Here are the settings tools in the upper right. The settings, the blue wheel, we'll get into that one later, and then share cursor with other views. But just be sure that the share cursor is engaged in the other view to see those in both views. Next, you can create a well list from the views in the correlation view, and then you can save a correlation view template. In addition, users can drag tracks and headers with a left drag as necessary. Plus, there are also some right-click options. Those will update with additional data in the correlation view as more data is added. Users can edit transects via the base map. Be sure the cursor sharing is on to help. Right-click on the transect and choose Edit. Well-to-well transects have Remove Well and Add Well options via left-click while in edit mode, and then you can also remove or add wells to the transect. Double-click to complete the action. Edit a projected transect via the right-click, and then the options include pan and move the transect, node movement and insertion, and then using a shift left-click to insert a rotation point, you can kind of move your transect around on an anchor point like that. Double-click to complete those edits and to drop the tool on the base map. Add in style data in correlation view. When we opened our correlation view, we only pulled in wells from the transect to begin. Let's add more data via the blue plus and start with seismic, if available. You can only view seismic in TVDSS mode, so update the depth in the view. Once seismic is populated on the correlation view, click the Settings dialog in the upper right. Open the Seismic tab to find style options, including Update the color map and range of seismic to show in the correlation view. Click Apply to see the changes. In addition, users can also reverse the color map or make range symmetric about 0. Next, well tops and well top aliases. Notice Transform lets you know the count of that top or top alias in the current correlation view. Toggle on the tops to load and then click Add to View. Once well tops and well top aliases are added to the correlation view, click the Settings dialog in the upper right. Open the Tops tab to find style options, including Update the top labels on the correlation view, the cadence, and also when those labels start, either the first or the last well in the correlation view. You can also adjust what is to be displayed, the top name, interpreter, the depth, and you can even make the labels transparent to show the log underneath. In the lower panel, you can adjust the font size and the pic size width, plus fill tops and fill the lower portion of the log to the TD. This slider will update the opacity as necessary. Note, to update the color of well tops and well top aliases in a correlation view, users must go to a different module in the program. Go to Geology Top Alias Manager. Here, you can change colors as desired and the correlation view will update. If those updates may not take place, just click the green refresh button in the upper portion of the correlation view. Back to the correlation view to add more data via the blue plus. And we'll move on to wellbore intervals. Users can see the wellbore interval on the correlation view. Notice Transform lets you know the count of the wellbore interval within a correlation view. Once added to the view, click the Settings dialog in the upper right to access the wellbore interval display options. Use the slider bar to update opacity and offset of the intervals. Note, to update a wellbore interval, go to Geology Well Zone Color Editor. Our last type of data to add to a correlation view, horizons. Users can view depth horizons in a correlation view, those made by tops or seismic interpretation. Note, to update the horizon display color, go to Wells Top Alias Manager and change the color of the geological feature, listed first in the tree. Change the colors and the correlation view will update accordingly. There are a few more style options in the Settings dialog of the correlation view, so let's go to the upper right and access the blue wheel. First, the General tab. This allows users to use a fixed distance between wells. Click Apply to see those updates. Next, open the Wells tab to find style options allowing to change the header font size, display tracks and headers for missing logs, and display projected wells with no logs. If this view had a lateral, then users can toggle on and off to display laterals. And don't forget the additional tools at the top of the dialog plus right-click options. Now that we have our correlation view all set up, let's explore the tools available. So you can see from the top, going from left to right, that's going to be our interpretation toolbar, and we're going to go through all of those different tools in the next few minutes of this video. And then in the lower portion of this slide, you can see the settings toolbar from left to right. If users want to change the log template in the correlation view, use the folder at the top. This will update all of the wells with this chosen template. To change the wet log template for only one well, right-click Apply Separate Log Template. There are additional right-click options, such as remove the selected track, view it at well properties to see the well header, reset a log template, and if tops are displayed, to flatten and unflatten on a chosen top. In the upper left, this annotation tool can be used to make notes in a correlation view. Engage the tool and left-click on a log track. Users can type in the annotation box. Disengage to drop the tool. To delete an annotation box, engage the tool, select the annotation box to delete, and click the red X at the top. Disengage the tool when complete. Tops picking in correlation view. Engage the tops correlation view. Click Select to create a new top, or choose Tops to continue top picking. If If you're making a new top, give the top a name and a color as desired, and then click OK. The top in the toolbar is the top to be picked. Left double-click to pick a top, and then middle-click to delete a top. Click the arrow to choose an additional top to pick from the drop-down menu. Remember, you can share cursors with the base map as needed. Ghost tool in correlation view. To use the ghosting tool while picking tops, engage the ghost tool with the tops correlation tool engaged as well. Left drag to create a ghosting box. Note, the ghost can be used over multiple tracks, including rasters. Once the ghost box is made, the blue dotted line outline means it is in pan mode to be moved in the correlation view. Use left drag to move it around. Up and down arrows to stretch and shrink the ghost in the Y dimension, and left and right arrows to stretch and shrink the ghost in the X dimension. Use W and S to nudge the ghost up and down, plus A and D to nudge the ghost left and right. When you're ready to make a pick, click the space bar to toggle the pan mode on and off. Notice the blue dotted outline changes to a black outline. Left double click to make a pick, space bar to toggle the pan mode back on, and continue with tops picking. When you're finished with the ghost, disengage the tool by clicking the ghost in the upper left corner. Auto tops picking in correlation view. With the tops correlation view engaged and at least one manual pick in your correlation view, click the select log aliases for auto tops picking. Select at least one log. Users can choose logs that aren't displayed in the correlation view if desired. Click OK. Next, check out the auto top display parameters. The defaults are set kind of small, so it's a great idea to update. The pick half width is the half width of the window around the manual pick. This window defines the fingerprint search for the target logs. The maximum shift value constrains the search window in the target logs, and the picker radius is the max distance to look for matching picks in target well logs. All are in feet. Click OK when complete. Do a Control-Shift left double-click in the log track to start the auto tops picker. Notice the results in the bottom corner. QC the tops in the correlation view and save the session as necessary to save the tops interpolation. Remember, you can do a middle click to delete a top. Tops picking with rasters in correlation view. Users can pick tops on a raster in the correlation view. This might come in handy where digital logs are scarce. The displayed well log template needs to have a raster added to that template, and users can have both digital and raster logs in one template. Engage the tops correlation tool and choose a top and use a left double click to place a top. The ghosting tool works as well. Engage the ghost, left drag to create a ghost box, and pan or interpret as necessary. Have you created a very nice looking correlation view and you want to share it with your colleague? You've pulled in data and set it up like you want it. So save that template in the upper right corner with the diskette. Then you can pass that file to your colleague. Also, you can call that file up again with add a new view to open that correlation view again with all those types of data and settings selected. Lastly, you can populate an open correlation view with that data and then update the style settings with the blue plus in the correlation view. So just open that up and choose the data to add and say add to view. It's going to add that data to your view. This is a great use of time for different projects within the same basin. Save templates for each project and you can remember the data and settings used. Got questions? Please email drillinginfosupport@enverus.com.